Hey guys, what do women really want in a man? Not what do we tell you we want, what do we think we want, but what do we actually respond to? What is it that turns us on? What is attractive to us? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you 12 traits that any man can develop to become more attractive to women. So, of course, there are all the hypergamy type things that women want, but here are the underlying root traits that women actually look for that shows up in things like money, success, on all that stuff that you probably think. That's what you probably wrote in the comments before even watching the video. She wants money. She wants a big bank account, etc., etc. Well, some of that stuff you can work on and some of it you can't. So let's focus on what you can work on that women do find attractive. Number 1, she wants a man who can stand up to her. I think it's Robert Glover. He's an author. I may be misquoting. I don't know if it's him or somebody else that said, if you can't stand up to a woman, you can't stand up for a woman. So you have to be able to stand up to her so she can trust that you can stand up for her. I'm going to go through feminism and working women in another video, but for now, just keep that in the back of your psyche. Number 2, along those lines is a man who can actually say no to her. So I did another video recently, and you probably want to check that out. But this is really important because a man who can say no is not going to be a Mr. Nice guy who's passively, aggressively manipulating her by being nice and agreeing with her to try and get what he wants. If you can say no to a woman, then she will trust that your yeses are authentic. 3, authentic. So 3 is being authentic, being sincere. This means that sometimes you'll agree and sometimes you won't agree with her. So she can actually trust that what you're telling her is true. What does a woman need to feel safe? She needs to be able to feel safe emotionally, which means she needs to be able to trust your words and actions. 4 is congruent. So not to be confused with consistent. So consistency, she wants some consistency in terms of emotional maturity, but she also wants some spontaneity in terms of action and activities in the relationship. But what I mean by congruency is that what you speak of, what you say matches up with your actions. So if you say that you just want to go out and spend a night with the guys, but you stay home with her because she was all cranky about that, that's incongruent. You want to do something, but you're folding like a paper napkin because it upset her a little bit. Not cool. And as well, if you say certain things, but then act in ways that disprove those words, then again, she can't trust you. She can't trust you that you're strong enough within yourself to know that you can accept, handle, and deal with the consequences of your commitments to yourself. Which brings us to number 5. You are secure within yourself and don't need to compromise yourself to please her. Now, this doesn't mean that you never please her. Of course you do, especially in the bedroom. But you need to be able to say no again and not adjust your standards of who you are just because she might be asking for something. Oftentimes it's a shit test anyway. So if you're not sure about that, then watch my playlist on said topic. Basically, you don't apologize for who you are. Number 6, again, along the same lines, is that you ask for what you want. You don't make demands necessarily if it goes against her beliefs or value systems, but you don't compromise your own standards or your own value system. So if there's a disagreement or if there's some area of conflict, you're not going to fold just because you want to please her. If it's something that important to you, you'll stand firm even if it means losing her. She needs you to be her rock, her rock. Along those lines is number 7, is that she needs you to be able to lead the relationship. And part of that includes making decisions. So you're not always going to make decisions that she's happy with. You may have to actually make compromises. That's what happens in relationships, even in the courting stage. But she needs to know that you can lead the relationship. She doesn't necessarily want to be completely submissive. Actually, most women nowadays will balk at that word, but she needs you to lead and she needs to trust that you can lead in a way that makes her feel safe. She doesn't want to be your mommy. 8, Women need a man who will ask for clarification and not make assumptions. Who are notorious for making assumptions and mind reading? Women are. Bad, but true. So don't be a woman. Ooh, I'm going to get in trouble for that one. Politically incorrect. Don't make assumptions. Ask, clarify, and then go from there. Don't be a mind reader. That's just being weak and passive. And sometimes passive aggressive. 9, women want and need a man who has their own opinions and doesn't always agree with them. So again, if you can trust that you don't have to always agree, then she can trust that what you're saying is true and real. Even if, and especially if what you're saying is something she's not going to like, because you're going to have to deal with her not liking that and whatever reaction that creates in her. Hopefully she'll be mature about it. But if she's not, then you're going to deal with that. Okay, next one. This one's a biggie, actually. And even though, it's all romantic to think that this isn't true, it actually is. Women respond best, want men who don't need them. So you want her, you desire her, but you don't need her. Your life is going to be just fine without her. If you can do this, if you can feel this, where you know that she's a benefit in your world, but she's not a necessity. She'll feel this from you, and she'll trust that you're there because you want to be, not because you need to be, not because you don't have better options, not because you just can't do it without her or any woman. You're not weak and needy. So women need men with this kind of strength. Which brings me to the next one, which is alpha masculinity. And I think I've done a video on alpha masculinity, how to be vulnerable while still being alpha and masculine. But essentially, what you need to know about this is that she wants you to be strong. She wants you to be a man. She wants you to be a leader. She wants you to be alpha. She doesn't want you to be an a-hole. So unless she's emotionally damaged, those are the only category of women who are going out with the real bad boys, players, and jerks. They're not worth getting because they're just going to be high maintenance. And if you're even decent to them, they're going to ditch you because their equilibrium is chaos. They can't be with someone who is actually good to them or for them. So if you need to be a complete jerk to be with a girl, then she's probably not going to be a keeper. Watch my video on if she's a keeper. But here's the thing, before I go to the next traits. A lot of nice guys, watch my video on nice guys, think that they have to be a jerk or they have to be a player or a bad boy because women do respond to the qualities in bad boys and players and jerks. Not all the qualities, but the qualities that are on this list. If you go back to the beginning and listen to this list again, then those people, bad boys, players, jerks, will also have all of these qualities, but the intention behind them isn't about self-security, it's about selfishness. So players, jerks, and bad boys are selfish, whereas a solid, good-hearted, strong alpha man just is secure within himself. He doesn't need to be a jerk to be able to display all of these qualities. Okay, let's get through the rest of the qualities. Don't ditch on me now. Which brings me to, which I've kind of already mentioned, always be willing to walk away. She needs to know that you're there because you want to be, not because you need to be, not because you need her, but because you value her and she brings value to the table. So if she knows, and you know within yourself, you don't even have to express it, especially if you display these other traits, that if you know that you're always willing to walk away from the deal, if the deal starts to become a crappy deal, she'll feel that and she'll never test you as much. Once she knows that for sure, once you've put her in her place when she needs to be put in her place for any test she does provide, then she won't be constantly wondering and testing you to see if you've got that strength, because she'll know deep inside that if she really screws up, you're going to walk. That's it. No questions asked. Which brings me to the essence of how to do that is by having a greater purpose and or passion in your life that is bigger than her or even the relationship. So a man needs to have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose in life, then you're going to feel like you're lost, floundering, and you're going to make a woman your purpose. And that's not good, because that's when you get dangerously close to being needy and putting her on a pedestal. And if you put her on a pedestal, she will look down on you. So you need to be able to find your purpose. And of course, a great way to develop all of these traits is, of course, by taking my Wake Up to Love program, because even though these things are innately within you, life has given you experiences that may have maybe shaken your foundation a little, and you may not have all of these qualities. So if you don't have all of these qualities and you want to up your game for yourself, if not for her, mostly for yourself, then you should look into my Wake Up to Love program. So your purpose in life might be just self-development. It might be a family. Like if you do have a family, well, that's bigger than just her. Whatever it is, it needs to be something that makes something in your life more important than just her and the relationship. So you're not going to give a woman your complete loyalty at the very beginning when you're just courting or dating. Like, she's got to earn that. Don't let her tell you that she should just get it automatically. Which of these qualities do you need to work on? Write it in the comments below. Subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.